Reasonable adjustments, what you're really entitled to. If you have a disability or a health condition, your employer must make reasonable adjustments. That is an absolute legal right. And if you need reasonable adjustments, here are some of the things that you can ask for. Environmental adjustments such as noise cancelling headphones, a quiet workspace, lighting adjustments, remote or hybrid working, permission to take short sensory breaks, or a customised desk setup. Working hours and routines, things such as flexible start and finish times, extended deadlines where it's possible, working in time blocks, reduced hours, or even a phased return to work when you've been off. Communication adjustments, this could be things such as clear written instructions, one task at a time rather than multitasking, advance notice of meetings or even the agenda being provided before the meeting, alternative communication methods that could be instant messaging instead of phone calls, and regular one-to-ones for clarity or feedback. Tools and technology, this could be things like assistive tech, like dictation software, spell checkers and screen readers, task management tools to help with organisation, speech-to-text software, or text-to-speech tools. Management style and support, that could be things like mentoring or job coaching, buddy system, that could be to support with onboarding or just general navigation, extra time in interviews or even asking for the interview questions in advance, or alternative assessment formats if there is an assessment as part of the interview. As part of asking for reasonable adjustments, your employer may refer you to occupational health, and that is a fairly standard thing that most employers would do. Employers often use occupational health as obviously they're not the experts in certain health conditions, and that independent advice can help them understand how best to support you. However, your employer can ignore any advice from occupational health or a doctor when it comes to your reasonable adjustments. Of course, if they do ignore any advice, that is with risk, but employers are entitled to ignore it if they don't believe it's reasonable. Reasonable adjustments aren't just what's reasonable for you, it's also what's reasonable for your employer. And what's reasonable will depend on your situation, your employer's situation, whether they're a small or a large business, the type of business they are. Clearly, some businesses can't support working from home, some businesses can't support the use of AI. There is no one size fits all when it comes to reasonable adjustments.